Hi, I'm Rachel Whitefield, certified life coach, and with me is our favorite financial Fraulein, Jackie Black. Thank you for joining us on another fabulous episode of Whiskey Bent
Spellbound with Black.
and Whitefield.
Yes.
Hi, Jackie.
We are back. We are live.
Hi.
What are we drinking?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Today I am drinking, I think it might be my personal favorite because you sent it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Catoctin
Catoctin.
Creek, Roundstone Rye Whiskey, 80 proof single barrel, all the way from the hills of Virginia. Yes. So I'm taking also a page out of your book, took it out of the freezer. It is just straight room temperature whiskey today.
Yep.
What do you
Well,
got?
I have also a product of Virginia. I have Isaac Bowman
Ooh.
Pioneer Spirit Straight Bourbon Whiskey, the port barrel bottle.
Mm.
So I actually really like this one. This is a little. This was a gift from another friend.
Hmm.
Um, and so I don't know, like it's delicious. It's really smooth. Highly recommend.
We
Highly,
like it. I
highly,
can't.
highly.
I'm gonna go visit you soon. I say soon because I have a year calendar in front of me, and the whole year
Right.
soon, even though it is gonna be May today. So it is first day of May. So that's the big millennial tell.
Yeah. It's also Beltane today for our witchy listeners. Beltane is when the second time of the year in the past like year where the veil is the thinnest. So basically it's the opposite of Halloween.
Oh, okay. I
So
like it. It is
yeah.
un-Halloween today. It's
Exactly,
Halloween's
exactly.
unbirthday.
The veil between our dimension and the next is the thinnest on May 1st. So this is a great day to like light a candle with like all of your white candle, yellow candle, green candle with your intentions for like financial abundance, which is what we're talking about today.
Yes, we
Um
are.
and a great like just a great day to manifest like things that you want because like I said we're most in touch with the spirit, the fold, the next dimension on Beltane.
What a
So
great bit of news. I just learned today. Halfway to Halloween, everybody. I'm ready.
that's right.
But before we pour,
Yeah, let's talk about ice
oh,
molds
I
and
love,
fancy sprinkles.
yes, I love my ice molds today because I really doubled down on my theme.
Okay,
Okay, are you ready? I'm
what
very
is your theme?
My theme. Oh, I went out. I went out. I had them already, of course. I haven't bought a new ice mold in a while. I
Mhm.
need to start treating myself. However, I went for diamonds with fancy sprinkled diamond white. So they are
Shut the
diamond
fuck up.
diamonds on diamonds. Yes.
I have diamond white on my ice.
What? Did we just become best friends?
To win.
Did we
Where
just
have you
become
been?
like on the same mental plane?
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup. So much more room for activities.
So much
So
room.
you've got diamond white
Twinsies.
on your big ice cubes. I've got diamond white on diamonds. So yes, this is
Yep.
who we are. This is who I am. Always unapologetic. So, oopsie daisies, over the ice we go. Ooh, and again, it is the prettiest
Oh my
whiskey.
gosh.
It's the
I put a
prettiest
little bit of
Virginia.
shimmer in the bottom of my glass just because I didn't feel like there was enough shimmer on my ice. And now look at it spinning in the
I can
glass. Can
see
you
it.
handle?
Yes, to me, I have the prettiest Virginia whiskey in all of Colorado. I know.
Look, yours is like golden. Mine looks like caramel.
Ooh. Well,
Ooh,
Twinkies,
ah,
girls. It's gonna be a good day. I can tell.
Twinkies.
Mm. Mm.
After, you know what? After today, I did like rituals to like welcome in Beltane. I've had work things going on. And now we're going to talk about what every woman needs to talk about,
Yes.
right?
We are talking about financial independence. And what we're going to be talking about today is important for everybody, not just women. However, this is just kind of what situations that we have been through in our lives. And that is from our experience. We want to share that with our community, which happens to be a lot of females. And a lot of like women in their 40s, which is who we speak to. This is who we are. So yes, we're going to be talking about the importance of financial independence. So we're going to start with some backstories for refreshers for people who may not know for Jaki and myself. And then we are going to give you some really helpful tips and things that we use in our life to be more financially independent and to be able to stand on our own 2 feet financially. So are you ready, Jacqueline?
As ready as I'm ever going to be. I have my whiskey. My thoughts are combobulated. My gabbers are flabbered. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gassed? I don't know.
Flabbers
Anyways,
yeah.
just ignore me. The whiskey's already hitting me. I can't handle it.
Yeah, we had a good pre-production meeting. So I'll just jump right into it. So I've shared this on the podcast before, but when I was going through my divorce, it got really contentious. But before this, let me set the scene. So I had grown up in a small town, which we did. We grew up together, but it's also like a group in the church. So it was very much like find yourself a husband. Like your retirement is this life partner for you, and then so I got married young, and we're like, we'll make it, we don't have anything as like young 20 something kids, but we're gonna find our way together and we have our whole life to figure it out. But anyone who's now on this side of 40 realizes like millennial math hurts when they say like, oh, 2004, the year I got married, was 20 years ago. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, what?
Oh my God, what?
Oh my God, my heart, it hurts. Because I was like, no, it was a couple years ago. Like the 70s were 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like it was not.
Yeah.
It was not.
Oh,
Anyways,
you mean like 1995 was for sure 10 years ago?
yeah, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
So 20 years have passed now. So, and we realized, okay, we're midlife, however, so,
that
so
hurts.
I know.
God.
Oh God. But I am 40, wonderful and fabulous. I'm the hottest I've ever been. We are. So, yes. So now that we're like, we're fabulous, let's go be financially set as well. So, I was in this mindset of, oh, I have my husband. We're going to do it together. Again, we decided not to have children. Like it's just us to be retired together and we'll save a little throughout the time. But I was also with a man that was not educated financially. And because he grew up in England, it is different over there. And I think everyone gets some sort of a pension from the government and whatnot. So he had a hard wake up call coming over to America to be like, you got to do it your own, buddy. But also, so he then joins the military and he's just planning to make a career out of it. And he's going to do his 20 years. We're going to have this pension as well. Okay, great. However, like he does get injured. He was only in the Navy for 8 years total, I think. But it's like we were married for 13. So we were married for quite a few years before he went into the Navy. But, it was just like, oh, we always say a man is not a plan. But at that time, my husband was the plan, and I said before, it is my job and his career. I will follow him. And I did. And then he says, oh, I don't want to be married to you anymore. I came home and he had moved out. And then he was nice enough to stick around to tell me that he had moved out, that it was done. Not a discussion that we had together. I was told, Right. So my whole, like this rug had been like pulled out from under me. And you get to the point where I was like, okay, I'm 34 years old, pushing 35, and I have nothing. And I also told myself when things got kind of rocky at the end that I was like, I would not leave him because I am nothing financially without him. So I'm going to stay because I don't have anything. And then he left. And being from England, I was like, I told him, I said, we have a long-term marriage. We've been married for 13 years. You are going to have to pay support. And he says, no, in England, you just get divorced. Bygones be bygones. And I was like, we are not in England. That is not the divorce you are going to get that you asked for. So if you want a divorce, you will have to pay for it.
Yep.
And I did make him pay for it. So in my divorce, he did take all the debt because he felt so bad. And then I got spouse support for 7 years, which is fantastic, which is over half the time that I was married. So I was like, you're a stupid idiot. So he had to pay to get rid of me. So I was like, it would have been better for you to stay married to me. However, but it was like, before we had that piece of paper in place to say, this is what he will pay me for support. And we didn't have any lawyers. We just agreed to it ourselves. But before that piece of paper was in place, it got contentious. And he was like, I am not going to pay you shit. I'm mad at you and I don't want to give you anything. I don't have to. That's what my Navy legal department said. I don't have to give you shit. And I said, okay. So he broke our lease, left me with everything. I had to pay for storage because he didn't want to do. When I say left me with everything, I was like, the emotional burden, because he just wanted to leave his life and go start again. So just because I got the bedroom furniture doesn't mean that I was like, I made out like a bandit. It was just like, no, I'm just going to go and start a new life elsewhere, you know? Mm-hmm. So broke our lease. So made me homeless, left me with the 3 dogs. And then he was like, I'm not going to pay you anything. So not only did that man starve me emotionally before he left, he then starved me literally, because I was working part-time at a coffee cart and part-time doing nails, because I was rebuilding my business after moving to San Diego with him
for his career.
After closing my award-winning nail salon in Washington State, Best of Western Washington. And my entire clientele, a thriving business. And it was really, really challenging that now it's like, because of this one person's decisions, I have nothing anymore. I have no stability. I have no financial stability. I have nothing. And he's like, oh, I don't want this car. So you're going to buy it from me too, if you want to be able to get around, because I'm not paying for that either. So it's like he wielded his paycheck as a weapon against me, you know? And so it was like, at that point when he was like, I'm not going to pay you shit, I found, thank God, in San Diego County, I found a place, when I say a back house, it was like a room with like a hot plate, a mini fridge, and a bathroom.
About that little bungalow.
I call it the beach bungalow, but it was just a tiny $600 a month. The stars like shined on me.
For real.
To find a place where I can have a dog and like have my dogs, and like just to live alone and not in a room somewhere, you know, just be like, sorry, I don't love you anymore. So you like go figure it out, but I'm not going to give you any money. So get by on like doing nails. And I was like, okay, great. And you can't get by on doing nails. It's just, I had just moved there. I hadn't built up a clientele yet.
Right.
And so it's just like, at that point when he says, I'm not going to pay you anything, you know what? He put me on food stamps. Mm-hmm. When we were living in a very nice apartment in Coronado, California.
That's beautiful there.
And I was on food stamps in a tiny house and, you know, in like a shack, you know, and then also on state Medicaid, because he's like, I'm going to take your benefits away from you because we're not going to be married anymore. So then I went on state Medicaid. And it's very hard when your life is like, I'm pretty good, and our life is very comfortable financially. And then it is all stripped away from you because this one person wakes up one day and says, I don't want to be with you anymore.
Yeah.
And so like, I made a promise to myself that I was like, I will not be poor ever again. And because where we grew up, it was a very red area and a very blue state. And we would always hear about these like, quote, welfare queens that are just working the system. And I like a good bag. Like I had like nice clothes and I drove a cute car and I like had these Coach bags. And it's like I felt like so ashamed when
Yeah.
I would go to the store and use like my hands would shake when I would use like my EBT card. Like, what if it doesn't
Yep.
go through? What if it's not going to, what if I don't have enough? Like, how do I do that? And so it was like, it was a very good exercise in empathy and walking in other people's shoes because what I was told or like the status of like someone being on welfare is bad and they're scamming the system when I was like, I literally need food
Yeah.
because I don't make enough and I am just trying to get by, you know,
Yeah.
to pay my rent, you know.
Been
And
there.
so it's like, I am never, ever going to be here again. I don't care what I have to do, but I will never be here again. So that's why, like, my own financial independence today is so very important. So that's kind of like my backstory before I get into these actionable steps. So, Jaki, like, tell us your, story of why your financial independence is so important to you. So we really
Yeah.
set the foundation of like why we earnestly feel this is such an important topic for our listeners.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like you said, we grew up in the same town. My parents were not well off. So I already had like issues with money and feeling like that mindset of lack, like we just don't have the money to do this. We don't have the money to do that. So they did their best. They did a great job, but don't get me wrong, like it was hard there for everybody for a while. So just starting out, like that was something that played a big part in my whole mindset about money. But when I got divorced from my second husband, that was a complete surprise, just like your divorce was. Like a SWAT team let me know that I was never going to see him again. And it was literally like he died, but he didn't. He went to prison. And the dual income that we had paying for the rent that we paid,
Mm-hmm.
half of that income was gone, right? He did not sign any of that over to me. His mom fought me tooth and nail from getting any kind of benefits. And we didn't have any savings because he was terrible with money. So, in fact, we were in considerable debt. But one thing that we didn't have was dual debt. We never put anything in both of our names. No credit cards had both of our names on them. No property, not any, no vehicles, things like that. I think that really um set me up for like success when it comes to how I had to recover.
Mm-hmm.
So one day my life is normal, then and I have a husband and a beautiful nuclear family, and the very next day I have none of that. And I have half the income and a very, very large rent. We lived in a big house, like a big one. So it was like 2,500 square feet. We paid $3,000 a month in rent. Like,
And
and
you
I
weren't
had to figure out how to continue on.
and you weren't living outside of your means.
Not with both of our incomes.
Yeah, you can afford it. Yeah.
With both of our incomes, we were making six figures. We had we were getting out of the previous debt that we had accumulated when I was a stay-at-home mom, frankly. Like
Mm-hmm.
we accumulated debt during that time period. And so we were paying, things off, but like things were good financially. And then he was unceremoniously ripped out of my life, and I had to recover from that. I didn't qualify, unfortunately, for assistance. There was no assistance. There was no financial assistance from the state, from the federal government who pressed charges on him. There was no assistance at all for victims of what he had done,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
what any of these criminals do. There's no assistance for them to recover from what they do. So I had to really like pull myself up I had to put on my big girl panties, as my mom would say.
Mm-hmm.
I took 3 days to be fucking sad and depressed. And then I put my big girl panties on and I started delivering like Uber Eats immediately after work and
Mm-hmm.
just like scrounged and saved. And, it was like, it was really, really hard there for a while. Finally, or I was able to like live out the rest of my lease. It was only like 3 or 4 months left on it. And then I was able to find a more affordable house, very close, but like it was really, really hard there for a while. And I feel like had I not been, had I been more financially educated to make sure that there was a savings account in my name, I don't think I would have struggled as hard. Like if I had been saving my money instead of like spending it and just, throwing absolutely everything at debt, I think that it would have been a lot easier for me to deal with. But I think the point is that I had put all of my ducks in the basket, all of my eggs, whatever. The ducks were in a row behind him and
Mm-hmm.
his income. My eggs were in his fucking basket
Mm-hmm.
because he always had a retirement because he was former military. So he had that income. And I thought, I mean, no matter what, we have that income.
Yeah.
At least we have that. It never crossed my mind that I would not have that
Exactly.
because I
It
put all
never,
of my eggs in that fucking basket. And
it,
you just can't do that. And I
it
think that's like
never,
why we're talking about it.
yeah, it never occurred to me that I wouldn't have my husband.
Right.
And then that motherfucker had the audacity to ask me later. He's like, "Were you hiding money?" And I said, "Hiding money? You mean hiding money from the divorce that I didn't ask for? Hiding money for the divorce that I didn't see coming? Hiding money? Like, you mean that divorce? What money?
That
I'm
doesn't make
living in a
sense.
shack waiting to move to Colorado. Like, are you kidding me?" So
What do you
then
mean?
he like takes everything from me and then like it's like accuses me of hiding resources. I was like, there are no resources. There are none. Do you think I would
None.
be living this life if I had any? No.
No.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing your story, Jackie. I know like it can be
Yeah.
hard to go back to those days for
It's traumatic every single time. It's fine. The thing is I don't mind telling the story as traumatic as it is because I know that there are people out there that need to know that they're not alone because it was extremely isolating.
Yeah, it was very, very hard to be like, okay, I can feed myself, but can I feed my dogs?
Right.
You know?
I was literally like, okay, how do I feed my kids?
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
I feed my children now? How do I make sure that the lights stay on? How do I make sure that I have enough gas in my car to get them to and from school? I'm now the person who has to pay for all of that. I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Big
You've got
girl
a
panties.
double income life on a one income now, you know?
It was really crazy.
Yeah. So I know you have a couple of
Yeah.
advice that you want to hit on and scenarios, and then I'll go and like talk about the things that I think are good ideas as well. So
Yeah. So like it's hard, right,
mhm,
to start. It's really hard to start saving money.
it is.
Especially if you are like as far as like income in the income bracket that I'm specifically in, it's hard to start saving money. But you just have to make sure that you build a budget that allows you to. And no matter how much you're saving, you're saving. So I use an
Don't touch
app.
it.
Yeah, don't touch it. That's the hard part though. I use an app called Bright Money, and like we'll link the stuff that we're mentioning in the show notes. But what Bright Money does is it just rounds up to the next dollar and it'll just remove those pennies every time you spend money. So if I say I spend like $15.50, it'll pull out that next 50 cents. I round up to $16 and it just saves that money. At the same time, it puts some of the money into a savings account and then it puts some of the money towards whatever debt I listed. And
Hmm.
then it also simultaneously helps me pay off my debt. So I downloaded that maybe like 2 months after everything happened. It helped me build up a nice like little chunk of change, and I've put that away just for like my vehicle expenses specifically. And I just have that change going like in there, and I don't really touch it because it's just change. I think maybe like $5-10 a week goes in there, and I don't really see it because I'm just rounding up to the next when I balance my checkbook, and it makes the payments automatically. So I'll go and make my regular payments towards my debt, but then I'll go in there and see that other payments have already been made. And that helps with the interest. So you're paying down like way, way, way less.
Yeah.
So that's a great place to start, is one of those money saving apps that just rounds up it a little bit at a time, but trust me, pennies add up so quickly. There is an interest rate. You can earn interest on it. So your money makes you money, which in the long run, ladies, that's what you want to do, is you want to put your money places where it makes you money and you don't have to do anything but put it in there. That's a big, big, big thing. The next thing I highly suggest is investing in the stock market. This is another thing that I didn't know anything about, how to read candles and predictions, like all of that stuff. I'm still very much new to, and I'm learning about it. But I also use an app to invest in the stock market. Twice a month, Stash will subtract $2,500 or $25 on a payday and just puts it into my investment portfolio. And then I have several investments that some are diversified, some are specific stocks that I wanted to invest in. Things like Apple, big companies, you know what I'm saying? But then I also have diversified folders that is just like female entrepreneurs, and it invests a little bit at a time into the stock market, and that builds up over time. So the more money you have in the stock market, the more you're going to get in dividends, which is you making money on your money. Even if it's a couple dollars right when you start. As you get more money into the stock market, you will make more money off of that. Another thing that I actually started doing too, like, because it's hard to start a bank account or like a savings account and think that you don't have like enough, especially when something traumatic happens and you have to like really just get back on your feet, like we were talking about. But starting a savings account is super, super important if you're not going to use the apps. Another suggestion that I have is starting a savings account with either your friends or your siblings. Throw your money as a whole into a savings account and let your money earn money together, because you got the APY on all of these accounts. Pool it in there. And this leads me to the next point of, like, a lot of us have debt. A lot of women are leaving situations with debt. It is an isolating feeling, but there is a lot of us out there. See if there's anybody out in your life that wants to pay debt off as a team. So I read about these sisters who pooled their money in 2015. They pooled their money. They had over $182,000 in debt, credit card and student loans. They pooled their money and they were able to pay off all of their credit card debt in the very first month that they did that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Because
they pooled their paychecks into one account, which is a little bit like, who do I have like that? But really think about it. You might have somebody in your life who is in the same boat, or they're looking at debt like, oh my God, like, how am I going to pay this off? As women, we need to start communicating with each other and helping each other, because we have to rely on each other. We have to build our own community, which is what we're doing. But like, these sisters were so inspiring because like they worked to pay off all of their student debt. They paid all of it off in 18 months. Imagine just living frugally in one house with a bunch of friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And paying off your student loans as a group. How
Wow.
much happier you guys would be, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
I just love that idea because I think the Golden Girls is really becoming a realistic idea. And this to me is how we start that snowball. Let's get together and help each other make sure that not only we're paying off our debt, but we're building that credit because we have to buy land, ladies. We have to buy homes to put on that land, ladies. You know what I'm saying? We all need good credit so we can buy those big nice houses too. Like let's buy mansions.
Yes. So what my point is just like when you talk to women that have very strong, beautiful friendships with other women,
Mhm.
that and it's just like, man, what do you want to do when you retire? Golden Girls. We just want to be with our girls when we are older. Like
Yeah.
we're like, yeah, that's the most fun thing ever, you know? And we have these thriving social circles. We're just like, yes. But a lot of women, they don't start investing like me until I was in my 40s. You know, I've
Right.
been at my job for just under 2 years now. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I gave up, a career in the beauty industry because I needed a job that paid me when I wasn't at my desk, a 401k, that I had to worry about my own retirement. And I got all of that. But it
Yeah.
was also like, we're not starting when we're 20 early out in our career. We didn't
No.
do it. You know, I was married to a man that said money is just numbers on paper.
Right.
If
And I
anyone
was
tells you
married
that,
to a
like,
man that was just
run.
like, we're not going to have it when we're dead. So why save it?
Yeah. So I don't have to be homeless when I'm 80, you know? So as us women, like a lot of us are starting later as we feel the creep of time on us, you know, in our midlife. And so it's like we all have a little. And again, you're talking about pooling debt at that point, but I'm talking about like, let's all go buy a house together.
Yeah, but
Let's
we
be
got to build
golden.
our credit up. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Like
Build
let's get our debt paid off and buy the house.
so we can have an asset together, you know, and
Yes.
live with our besties because it's just like,
Yes.
I don't have a ton of my 401k, but the amount that I have saved, you know, in a year plus in 2 years, I'm very proud of, you know. But I
Right.
was like, okay, so it's not a lot, but I was like, but all my girls are saving. That's the whole point, you know. It's
Yeah.
very, very fantastic about that because, like, I look back at the last men that I've dated and known, like, none of them have retirement. Not a single one of these men have any sort of savings or any sort of retirement plan.
I don't sleep with men who don't have 401ks.
Yeah. And I was just like,
That's like a standard. Like, oh, you don't
yeah,
have a 401k, get out of here.
yeah. Like, I'm not a gold digger, but I'm like,
No, I need a man
I,
who can protect and plan.
the standard in which I hold myself.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, so we're like, yes, Golden Girls. So it's like if we all have a little, we all get to have the big house together and we don't get to die lonely.
Yeah,
Because we're so
exactly.
excited. Yeah. Every woman wants the Golden Girls. It's fantastic. And we're like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're already in on the plan. Love you.
I feel like the plan is actually like spreading like wildfire too right now.
Yeah. This piggybacks off of our 4B movement
It
podcast
really
a
does.
couple episodes ago, but absolutely. So, but what I want to say, like some tricks that I use is that first of all, like everything is going up. The prices are going up, inflation, rent, everything. So when we talk about saving money, like you cannot outsave inflation. So your money is worth less the more you don't do something with it. If you just hoard it, you know, if you just keep it in a bank, it's not going to be enough. And then I think when Jackie and I are talking about savings accounts, one, you should have 3 months of savings set aside that you don't touch for an emergency. If you lose your job, it seems so scary to be like, how am I going to save that much money? This is a marathon, not a sprint. And it's little by little. You know, how do you build an empire? Brick by brick.
Mhm.
So that, like, just keep that in mind. that I'm like, it is for a rainy day. It is for a
Yep.
trip. It is to save it and not touch it. And so we talk about savings account, it's a high yield savings account, not just because you're getting a penny of interest
Yeah.
a month, 5 cents of interest a month at your normal bank, getting nothing on that money. So when I say a high yield savings account, mine is, again, everything will be linked in the show notes below. It is from Ally. And right now I'm making 4.2%. And every time interest rates go up, my interest rate goes up. So
Yeah.
it's like, and they change it. It's like, okay, if the Fed is like, oh, we're going to raise interest rates on loans, I'm like, well, that sucks to buy a house, but I make more money on my money. And last
Yep.
year, because again, I pool my mother's money and I hold on to that for her. And it's in different buckets. So it's like one big account, but you can have buckets. So it's like her money is earmarked and my money is earmarked, and we know exactly
Yep.
how much is in there, but it collects interest collectively on it. And it's like I made $2,400 last year and I didn't do a thing. I just
Right.
kept adding more money into it. And
Yeah.
it's compounded interest, and it is fantastic because they put, $200 a month in there. And now I have $200 more in that account that I'm going to collect interest on. So it's like passive income. I'm like, I got an extra paycheck last
Yeah.
year and I didn't do anything. And so it just sits
Yeah.
there, which is fantastic. And so it's really, really important. But also, like, if your job has a 401k, like, there are no pensions. You don't get a gold watch anymore. Like, the advice, because again, us millennials are really the sandwich generation and we're getting fucked over because we were like, go to college, get a job, stay there, like, be loyal. And then now these Gen Zers are like, job hop every 18 months to 2 years, like, go get more money because no one is loyal and you have to have your 401k with you. You have to do it yourself because Social Security will not be there for us. We
No, it's
cannot
not.
depend on these things that they say, oh yeah, of course, depend on it. Or we're going to raise the retirement age to 75, 78, 80.
That's crazy.
Yes, it's going to happen. It has kept happening. It is not security in the social department anymore. Absolutely not.
No.
It's like barely enough to supplement. Like, it'll be a
Right.
supplemental thing if it is still there.
It's not
And
going to be. They're predicting it runs out in 2037 or something like that.
plus, it is a shrinking generation. It's always like the larger, younger generation that pays for the older generations, which is how all
Right.
systems are, which is totally fine. But it's not happening anymore.
No, because we've
So,
decided not to have babies
yeah, and I don't
because
care.
it's too expensive. I see
Yeah.
people having babies on social media, and I'm like,
Why did
how
you
the fuck are you guys doing that?
do? Yeah.
Too expensive.
So, and then also on the side of a 401k, I also have this is a Roth IRA. So that is a personal 401k that your company does not have. If you don't have it, it's just a personal 401k. That's what a Roth IRA is, an individual retirement account. And so you can add money up to like $6,500 a year right now if you're like less than 55 years old or whatnot. And so then and you can have both. You have 401k and a Roth IRA.
Yep.
And so I think
Yep.
that's like post-tax dollars. So when you pull from it, you are
You
not
get
taxed.
taxed.
Like,
You're not taxed?
my 401k is pre-tax dollars. So when I take
Yeah.
a draw on that, I get taxed on that money as like a paycheck. But a Roth IRA, I've already been taxed on that money that I've been given for my paycheck. So I put
Yeah.
that money. And again, auto saving, you guys, like, have that. But also, like, because feminist causes are very important to me, I use a company, again, linked in the show notes, called Ellevest, ELLEVEST. And it was started for female investors.
Oh, I love that.
And so it's like a female investment app for females, for women. And so I
I
was
love
like,
it.
hey, then that made me feel really safe because a lot
Yeah.
of the times, like, investing, you're like, you need to do it, but you don't know how. And then it's always these like bro chads that are like talking about it, and you need like an investment person.
Not a bro, Chad.
I know. And so
God.
it's just like, I don't know. And I don't want to feel stupid, but I know it's important. But so it's more of just like, okay, it's an app and I linked it to my bank account and it takes an automatic debit out of my account like every month. And it
Yeah.
also has like You can save for education, but I also have stocks as well that it
Mhm.
has like a diversified portfolio and whatnot. So, I was like, I don't know what to do with these accounts. They're just collecting money right now, and that's good enough for me. Like just put it in there and don't touch it and let it just collect. And then we can go from there.
Yeah.
But also on like one last thing is for like a high yield savings account, which everyone should do, is also like CDs, which are a certificate of deposit. And most banks have these. And so what they do is pretty much like if you can live without your money for some CDs are 6 months, some can be up to 5 years or
Yep.
longer. But what they do is that if you can go without this money, say $1,000, $5,000, but you say, hey, bank, you can go use my money, but they're going to give you a higher interest rate return, some 5, 6% back on your money. And then you can say, okay, I don't need it again. So you can go and use it. And I'm just going to keep collecting interest on it. So, and those are very simple as well. They're short term, what you can do. And then say it's a year, you have a CD and you're like, take $1,000 and then I'm going to earn 5% back on that. And then you're like, okay, I did really good without that money. I'm going to go. And then the money that they put back in on your interest rate. And then you're like, okay, now it's that extra money and go invest it again, And so it's like, you don't really have to do anything. It's a guaranteed return on your money. And then you're like, okay, like we can then do that. So there are very simple things. I'm sure most people, if not everyone has a banking app on their phone. So
Yeah.
and again, it's like it doesn't matter how little you start with. It's just important that you start.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pennies add up.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. So, that's like I, and again,
No,
like
you also use your you don't use a debit card, which is a
again,
big thing. Like if you guys can do this, if you can switch from using your debit card to your credit card.
this is my favorite thing that I do.
Yep.
And it will only work if you use your credit card as a debit card and pay it off every month. I got a specific credit card from Southwest that gives me miles
Mm-hmm.
because I get 2 bags fly free and I'm an overpacker. So I got an airline's credit card that I fly on the airline consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And everything I use, like it puts miles on my card and then I can go and use it and fly for free. But also it gives me more buying protection. Like I'm not afraid because this has happened to you since we've been business partners. Someone hacked your
Yes.
account, got your debit card number. And then
Yes.
like you had to get into a dispute with your bank of like, what are these charges? It was an ACH, like they can't get those back. Like it was devastating to you.
It was really hard.
And so like I buy everything on my credit card, which your credit card company should give you protections. But also like I can turn my card on and off. I can get a new card sent to me. Like
Yeah.
someone can
You
access
just
like my
have
credit
way
line.
more protections on a credit card than you do on your debit card,
Yeah.
period.
And then every 2 weeks when I get a paycheck, I go and I pay off my credit card.
Mhm.
So it doesn't cost me any more to use it because if you pay it off before the interest hits every month, you owe no interest on it. So it doesn't
Right.
matter that my interest rate is, 18, 20%. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
because
And
I never have it. And I'm building my credit as I go as well.
that part,
Mhm.
every single time you pay off your credit card, you
Mhm.
don't let a balance carry over.
Yep.
Your credit will jump at a minimum 5 points. And
And
it
I
does
want
that for a while until it hits a certain point.
and you just reminded me of something. So when I first got married, the Limey had no like American credit whatsoever.
Right. Right.
And my mother had great credit. And so she had added me onto one of her accounts. So I had an amazing credit score, which when we got married, then I added him onto my Wells Fargo credit card. And he got this whole credit line, in America. Then, and so I've had this credit card since I was 18 years old. And then you keep getting bonuses. So I had a $25,000 limit on this credit card. Credit
Oh
card was paid
no.
off, not a big deal. We get divorced. I can't get his name off my credit card. So now I have to close my account and start again.
Yeah.
And like anyone's gone through a divorce, it really does fuck you up financially in your credit score. Because,
It
and
really
this,
does.
like, okay, like also fuck you, Wells Fargo. But it's like, I still have a bank account with them, but I'm like, this hurts so bad. It was like another slap in the face. So after I had had nearly 20 years on this account with them, 15 years at that point, maybe. Empty credit card, $25,000 limit. Like, great. I closed my credit card account. They're like, well, you don't have any credit with history with us anymore. So you can have a starter credit card with $1,000. So we know you're safe.
That's infuriating.
It is infuriating. And I was like, what do you mean? You can't trust me. I didn't even have to pay anything off on that credit card. The credit card just had $25,000 of available credit on it. It was just important
That's
to have it open
crazy.
and have the longevity of your credit. And they're like, well, you can. And so my credit score fucking tanked. It tanked going
Because you didn't have that available credit.
because I had to close all of my credit history in our,
Yeah. So all of your available credit just poof
yeah.
went up in smoke. Yeah.
So I've been divorced now for like 6 years. And it's like, I have a credit score in the mid 700s. Like, I'm very proud
Yeah.
of it. And again, it is day by day. The days are going to pass anyways. Like, put the money in your account. Don't touch it. It's going to be okay. But it's like,
You'll
and
thank
then
yourself later.
when I went to buy furniture for my beautiful apartment, I was not scared to I opened an Amazon credit card because I was like, might as well get all those Amazon and again get cash back credit cards. So because I knew it's Prime Day and I was going to buy all my furniture on Amazon. And I was like, I only need a couple $1,000s. Like, I could use this out of my savings account, but I want to keep it there. So I'm going to get the points on this Amazon credit card and I'm going to pay it off. I I was like, I don't know, they're going to give me a couple thousand, like I'll use it, pay it off within a year for my furniture, no big deal. I knew I was going to carry that balance and I was comfortable with
Yeah.
that. They come back and they're like $25,000 off the bat. Here, go
Cheese
spend
and
it in Amazon. And
rice.
I was like, are you kidding? Like, please, I
Oh,
don't.
my apartment's about to be fly as hell, y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was like, I was
shit.
just looking for five, so because it's like I had to furnish an entire apartment,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. You
because I
needed
had nothing.
everything.
Yeah, I had nothing, and so I had a bedroom. I didn't even know if I had bedroom stuff. I had a mattress, but I was like, I had kitchen stuff.
Yeah.
That was it. I had kitchen stuff, so I had to furnish an entire apartment, So, but it was just like it felt really good that
Mhm.
someone trusted me financially again.
Yeah.
And this is another trick I do because my Amazon, I buy everything on Amazon. That's what I
You
do.
do.
And then I get 5% cash back. And so for my credit card rewards that I have, I do not use those cash back rewards at all throughout the year. And then at Christmas, because I buy everything on Amazon, I had like last year I had like $700 with cash back
Perfect.
rewards. So I bought everyone's gift on Amazon.
Christmas was free.
It was free. I did not have to budget anything for it. It was this free money that was just sitting there. And then like I also have this other Wells Fargo credit card that has all my like recurring charges on it. All like my gym membership, my business expenses. And so
Got it.
that also accumulates and then I can get an Amazon gift card that way and get I can get whatever cash back rewards I want on that card. And so when it comes to Christmas time, I'm like, I'm very generous. I can get whatever I want
Yeah.
on from these shops or what have you. And you can get anything you want on Amazon. Like
Yeah,
I'm a
for sure.
fiend, I pay for convenience.
I think you did all of the shopping on Amazon this
Amazon,
past
and then
year.
it just ships it to the person I want it to go to.
Exactly.
And it didn't cost me anything. And so it was like I just let those points accumulate. And then at
Yeah.
the end of the year, I'm like, okay, this is what I do. So it's like and so I was like, okay, I got a whole year to like until next Christmas, and even if because I didn't buy a whole apartment full of furniture this year, it won't be as much. However, it really takes that sting off throughout
Yeah.
the end of the year when everything is like Christmas and parties and doing all the things, I'm like, okay, I can still go out and get an extra gift and it's not too much of a strain on my financial situation. But I was
Mhm.
like, yeah, I'm gonna go send this to Jaki. I'm gonna go do that,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I love that trick. That's
So
like one of my
that's,
favorite tricks. I
so
try to tell everybody, just
I
use a credit
travel,
card.
I travel, and then it's like I have so much protection. And so then, so my check hits my bank account and it just sits there collecting interest. And then I just make one big payment to my credit card company, but I also keep like a buffer of like $500 in my checking account just
Yeah.
because I'll Venmo somebody, I'll go do this, I'm going to split. So it's like there is
Right.
money sitting in there that just always kinds of sits in there, a couple $100 in there. But everything else is on a credit card. And then I just make one massive, if I go to Starbucks, I'm putting that on a credit card. If I have to make like a $2 payment, it goes on my credit card.
Yeah.
It goes on my credit card. And I travel very cheaply. I get
So you
upgrades.
sent me tickets. You didn't
Mhm.
even have to pay for them because of all the points
Yeah.
that you added up.
I was like, I
That's
got
my
points, I
favorite
can go.
trick.
It's great, and it also makes me feel really good that in my marriage, we struggled so much financially. And now alone, a single woman, I was like, I am more flush than I have
Right.
ever been in my marriage
Right.
because I don't have to
I
deal with another person's bullshit and like ill financial,
oh
like
my God.
baggage as well, you
Mm,
know?
My ex-husband, my second ex-husband, literally had us in the negative 2 days before payday. Every single payday. It was so he would just dollar us to death. This is what I mean. Like you have to keep shit separate. Period.
And I
Just
don't
keep it
ever,
separate.
and I remember being like, when everything is combined and I'm like, I'm contributing to the family, but I'm like, Adele's new album came out. Can I download that? Like, Britney
Oh,
Spears
you
came out with a
asked.
new album. Can I afford $15 to download that? Like, I don't want to have to ask permission for anything in my life, you know?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of, my takeaways are just like, it doesn't matter how much or how little, it's just important that you start. Because again, like I wake up 6 years later and I was like, okay, I can sleep peaceful at night knowing that it's like, I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about where my next meal is coming from.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you know that your bills are paid, that you have a roof over your head.
Hmm.
You can, if you had a dog, feed your dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one. Yeah. So it's
I
like
know.
I keep a roof over my head but it's like no one can take it away from me.
Right. Exactly.
Like I'm not worried that someone like Lady Gaga said this. She's like, go get your education and a job because she's like, your education will never wake up one day and tell you it doesn't love you anymore.
That part. That's
Like,
I love
I
that
just love it
quote.
so so it was just like, yes, go get yourself that someone cannot take away from you. And again, I believe in the faith. There are good men out there, but I was just like, we have both learned these very hard fought lessons.
Yep.
And we're
I will
never, and the whole
never,
point is to
ever,
learn from them.
ever rely on a man for my bills, for my savings. I will never,
Hmm.
not ever. Like when the next house I buy, it'll have your fucking name on it before it has a man's fucking name on it.
Cheers to that. Cause I was
Cheers
like,
to
I
that.
do want
Cheers
a
to
real
buying.
estate empire with you too.
But like honestly, like it makes so much more sense to me to buy houses with your girlfriends, even if you guys aren't both living there. You buy one in your town with both of our names on it. I buy one in my town with both of our names on it. It's easier to buy. We get the houses we want. We know we can pay for them. And
Yeah.
we have all of that real estate credit. Like, I don't see if you're doing it with somebody that you trust, like how we are able to trust each other. If you have a good group of girlfriends who are successful around you, fuck it. Buy houses. Buy
Yeah.
houses together.
Mm-hmm.
Build your real estate credit up. You need that. That's a different part of your credit is
Yeah.
real estate credit, real estate history. That's like your car history, car purchasing history. That's a different part of your credit. You need
Um,
that. And it's so much easier to get approved for loans and things like that when you have those types of assets.
and there are these milestones that it's just coming up to my mind right now. I don't post a lot on social media, but I did post this when I bought my car with no one else's help, money, or name on it.
Yeah.
It was my car with my name on it, not a husband's name on it, not a co-buyer, no co-signer. I was like, this is mine. This is a divorce like glow up, and I was like, I bought a car today,
Yeah.
like I picked it out. It was exactly what I wanted. Like, I was like, oh, okay, Whitefield, you're doing okay.
You're
It's like,
doing it. You're
I was
doing it.
like, we just like passed, like we just turned the corner.
Yeah, it's a milestone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really was. And it
hear
felt
ya.
really good to hear it. But oh, what a fantastic. I hope everyone, and if anyone does have any other tips or tricks to share with the community, drop them in the comment section below. And you can always message us on Instagram and TikTok. We're happy to share. We always want to like broaden our own horizons and portfolios with any tips and tricks you have financially that have really helped you grow. And I also want to share with you, like, we've been there. There's no reason for you to feel ashamed of your situation.
Yeah. Or like secluded or alone in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
We've been there. I'm still like, I feel like every day I'm still crawling out of it,
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's been 5 years since my second divorce, but it's officially been 1 year since my third.
Congrats.
And I had to recover from that too. Right. So it is something that feels like daunting, and like you can't, like you don't have peers in it, but you do. You do.
Because everyone's like, oh, we don't talk about religion or money or whatever. And I was like, no, you need to talk about money.
You need to talk about
money with your partner. You need to talk about money with your girlfriends. Like,
you need to talk about money with your girlfriends.
We talk about money a lot, not only because we are in a business together, but we talk about money in our jobs. Like, like me and Dr. Bessie talk about money, about like how much we make, about like what we should do.
How can we make more?
Yeah.
Where should we be putting our money? Where should we be investing our money? What are you investing? Yeah. Like talk to the women around you about money all the time. And just know, like, the more you guys are educating each other, the more you're going to elevate as a group.
Yeah. More buying power. Oh, Jackie, I feel so like strong and empowered right now.
I do too.
Yes. Are you? So that is a whiskey bent portion, and on to the spellbounding. I see you shuffling those cards.
I'm shuffling the shit.
Are you ready?
Let's have a Beltane reading about money. It's kind of perfect because Beltane, like it's a good time to manifest money is during Beltane.
The stars have aligned. I didn't even know it was Beltane today on this episode.
Now you know. All right.
Murder of
one already jumped out too. So let's see. All right. So the first one is 2 of Wands. And then we have something different, which I don't know which one that is, but let's just look at the 2 of Wands.
2 of Wands.
First. First and foremost, the 2 of Wands is about planning.
Perfect.
The 2 of Wands is about making plans, discovering new ways to do things, and starting to move forward into like a new habit, into new habits. The man basically is holding the material, which can make his designs come true. So like the little globe, the little crystal ball that crow is sitting on is like his plan. Like he sees a vision of the future. So the second one, this one I have to look up. Hold on. I'm not really sure which one this one is. I like the card though. Look at it.
Oh my, I think we've had that one before. It is a woman holding there's a lion in front of her and she is holding the mouth open.
Yeah.
This 8th of something.
This is strength.
The strength card.
Strength. This is the strength card.
Ooh.
So
formidable.
She is formidable. It has to do with like obviously like bravery and compassion because it is a woman like in control of a lion. is basically like what the card looks like.
Yeah.
But it also has a lot to do with focus and inner strength. So focus on what you want, what your financial goals are, and have the inner strength and inner fortitude to stick to those goals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is turning out to be fantastic. And then finally we have the Knight of Swords. That has a lot to do with power of ambition. So like your goals, and how much power you put behind them. It just seems like this entire reading is like make a plan, have the strength and courage and fortitude to stick to that plan, recognize your ambition, and you're going to be very, very successful. I just know, hold on, what is this card? Hold on. Because a card jumped out when I was shuffling, which I like to save those for the last because they seem to kind of give me a little bit of like, I don't know, like a theme, or it feels like,
I love a good bonus jump out card.
yeah, but they seem to like give me like a little extra message. And this one is the Fool. The Fool has a lot to do with innocence, being a free spirit, blah, blah, blah. But it also represents a new beginning. Yeah.
Yes.
So this major arcana tells a story of your individual past. It's the very first card in the entire tarot. And it just, he doesn't know how he's going to get there, but he knows the path is going to be a little bit difficult. He just has optimism that he's going to get there.
I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
So really, what a great reading just for our show that's about financial freedom, but also for Beltane, because like it's a rebirth of Mother Earth. It's the signifying of springtime. It's starting anew, it's starting fresh. And what like a timely message for us to give to our community of women. Like you guys, we have a goal. We have a common goal, right? We all do. It is Golden Girls. That's our common goal. We have to be financially ready to live that life. So
4 of us can buy a beach house.
A nice ass beach house.
We
each have our own rooms. There's a solarium.
Yes, I need a sunroom.
I need a solarium.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
afternoon tea.
I can't wait.
It's going to be fantastic.
I can't fucking wait.
I can't fucking wait. It's going to be so fun. We're going to have chickens.
Yeah. Dogs, rescue cats. It's going to be great.
Rescue kitties.
What I love is when people buy like a plot of land and put all their little tiny homes on it. And
that's my goal.
We all have our privacy, but then we all have like a big deck that joins us all. So we can all just like drink wine.
Come out for wine and spirits.
Yep. Join us. Join our coven.
Join us. We want as many women in our community as we possibly can. The goal is Golden Girls. Let's get financially free right now. Right now. Yesterday.
Yep. I never thought I'd be here. And I was like, ooh, it is so sweet to be here. And I'm only at the beginning. Is so much farther to go. We are so excited. Jaki, fantastic episode.
Rachel, agreed.
Absolutely. So, and also everyone join us over on our Patreon. Join the coven over there. It is $3.95 a month plus tax. And you get early release shows, extra spicy behind the scenes content. Today we are talking about over on the Patreon, should I be petty? Stay tuned.
Don't ask me this. My vote is always yes.
Yes. So we're going to be sharing some stories of should I be petty? And we want your feedback. So join us over on Patreon over there and get a special shout out on the YouTube after credits reel. And then, yeah, until next time, thank you for joining us on another fabulous and fantastic episode of Whiskey Bent
Spellbound with Black.
and Whitefield.
Love you. Bye.